Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, 36 people are waking up without a place to call home this morning after a massive apartment fire in Beloit. The latest on the Red Cross's efforts to help them out. Plus, it's hard to believe the new school year is just around the corner. What you can do today to help make sure all students have the supplies they need to succeed. And it's a weekend full of music, food, and fun on Madison's east side. The road closures, weather conditions, and entertainment lineup in store for this year's Atwood Fest. Your news starts now.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good Saturday morning, and thank you for joining us on News 3 This Morning. Saturday is July 28th. I'm Josh Breder alongside meteorologist Hattie McLean in for Chris this morning. And Hattie, I tell you what, we've had some fantastic weather. Nothing to complain about, finally not sweating, almost a little fall-like, if you can call it that.
Yeah, a little bit like fall last evening as the temperatures drop pretty quickly, but we have beautiful weather in the forecast for the upcoming weekend. It's full moon outside right now. Ooh. Chris, Josh, you and I both talked about how it was so bright when we came in this morning.
It was a little weird. Almost felt like the sun was coming up already.
I know. It felt like we were going to work at a normal time. But no, it is bright outside with that full moon this morning. This is the WISC-TV sky cam looking to the west as the moon sets. Here's a look at our temperatures this morning. It is a little bit cooler. 55 here in Madison, 57 in Mineral Point, 52 in the Dells, down to 45 this morning in Camp Douglas. Our temperatures over the next 12 hours, though, will climb pretty quickly through the 50s and 60s, back into the upper 70s later on this afternoon. Now let's get a look at first alert traffic early this morning. Here's what's happening on the roads. In and around Madison, no issues to report right now, no accidents either. So if you're headed into the capital city early, you're still going at posted speeds. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Breaking overnight, a massive fire takes over a Beloit apartment complex. That fire displacing 36 people from an 8-unit apartment building in the 900 block of West Grand Avenue. Officials with the Beloit Fire Department say they got a call about flames coming from an apartment building just before 10 o'clock last night. 20 to 25 units responded to put them out. 3 hours later, they were able to do so. The good news, no one was hurt. The Red Cross is now helping the 36 people displaced because of the fire. This morning, that cause is still under investigation. Right now, Madison police are searching for a man in his 20s who they believe is involved in a strong-armed robbery. Police say it happened in the 6800 block of Schrader Road around 10:45 last night. That's near the Woodmans there. A woman was opening the trunk of her car when police say a man grabbed her and threw her to the ground. They fought over the woman's purse and the man took some things from it. When the woman left to get help, police say the man also tried to steal her car. New this morning, 1 month after a shooting on the city's south side, Madison police have arrested a man they believe was involved. Madison Police's violent crime unit developed enough probable cause to arrest a man on a tentative charge of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. They took 20-year-old Kenneth House Jr. into custody near Vera Court Friday afternoon. We're told House Jr. had a loaded handgun in his pocket when he was arrested. Police believe the suspect shot a 59-year-old man who he knew on the 1200 block of Gilson Street at the end of last month. 5:03 is your time. A scare in downtown Madison Friday night after a fire in a parking ramp. It led to the evacuation of the Orpheum Theater as a precaution. Multiple units responded to the parking ramp on Carroll Street just before 6 o'clock Friday. About 25 minutes later, crews had put the fire out. Officials said the fire was, quote, smoldering from the wall, and both flames and smoke were visible. There were no reports of injuries. Right now, we have new video of the gas explosion that leveled several businesses in Sun Prairie this month. Take a look at this. Surveillance video looking over the parking lot of Sun Prairie Supplies was released by the city. The explosion happened on the other side of the road, a few buildings down. It shows the moment of the blast, and you can see the one person getting knocked to the ground right there. Short while later, first responders arrive as the fire intensifies. Firefighter and business owner Captain Corey Barr was killed. Crews have finished their investigation, but the area is still blocked off to the public for safety reasons. The demolition of Glass Nickel Pizza across the street from where the explosion happened has begun. On the company's Facebook page, it reads, quote, "Thanks for 14 great years, 101 West Main Street. Hard to watch you go. Look forward to your glorious return. Right now, a Madison man is not eligible for parole under a Dane County judge's ruling. Stephen Pyrus is serving a life sentence after he was convicted of killing his wife and causing an explosion at his house to cover it up. Pyrus has tried to argue that his wife asked him to kill her, but Judge Nicholas McNamara called him a liar when he appeared in court Friday afternoon. Pyrus confessed to loosening a gas line to a dryer in his house that caused the explosion, leveling their home on Madison's west side. The judge says the public deserves for Pyrus to die in prison.
Nobody should ever think that you could do all that you did, not simply kill your wife, but nearly kill other people, that you should really ever go home.
Pyrus did not speak in court, but his attorney argued that Pyrus and Leanne only were married on paper, so his motive for killing his wife is still in question. The judge says Pyrus does have the option to appeal the decision. A type of online fraud targeting dating websites is on the rise. The Sauk County Sheriff says scammers have been targeting sites like Match.com, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, and other similar sites. Victims commonly report the fraudulent online relationships begin with general conversation before the scammer escalates the conversation to talking about strong feelings and eventually money transfers, most commonly through Western Union, MoneyGrams, or Green Dot cards. Officials say there is little law enforcement can do about romance scams and emphasize if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. A student-led school supply drive here in Madison is celebrating its 10th year this weekend. The wagon drive started with a couple of young kids asking their neighbors to donate supplies for classmates who needed them. Now it's a city-wide collection. The high school seniors running the wagon drive want to provide 300 students with backpacks full of supplies this year. And you can help out by dropping off supplies as well as toiletries and non-perishable food items. That's at Franklin Elementary School today from 9 to 2. A first alert traffic note this weekend. Part of McKee Road has been shut down for construction. The roadway impacted is between Pleasant View Road and Meritor Way. You'll notice this is close to all of the work being done on Highway M. Crews will be replacing sewers there. That closure is expected to last until 6 o'clock Monday morning. Atwood Avenue will be closed in the 3-block stretch from the Barrymore Theater to Tex Tubbs near Winnebago Street for the annual Atwood Fest starting today. Organizers are asking people to bike to the festival to avoid parking problems in that area. It is now 5:08 this Saturday morning. Festival goers will have some picture-perfect weather to enjoy, but will we have to worry about those umbrellas at any point this weekend? Here's a live look outside this Saturday morning. Check out that full moon over the downtown area, lighting up the night sky. Hattie's in for Chris, and she'll have our full weekend forecast coming up. And if festivals aren't your thing, maybe movies are. Will's in with your 3 things to watch this weekend. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. A pleasant start this morning. Have the jacket on once again because temperatures are down in the 50s, but we're coming off a beautiful day yesterday. Take a look at highs across the region. 77, the official high here in Madison, Janesville, Platteville, and Lone Rock. It was 76 in the Dells and 75 in Watertown. Very comfortable conditions yesterday and more of the same expected today, maybe just a little bit warmer during the afternoon. If you are headed downtown to the farmers market early this morning, look for plenty of sunshine early, turning partly sunny as we go towards the afternoon, but a rapid warm up. You're not going to need the jacket for long this morning. Temperatures will already be back into the mid-70s by lunchtime. Light west winds are expected. Here's our view in Platteville this morning. The Queen Bee Radio Skycam picking up a view of the full moon as it sets in the western sky early today. So it actually is quite a bit brighter than it normally would be at this time of the day. Fog is not a widespread issue this morning, but we are noticing some fog developing through the Wisconsin River Valley. That has dropped visibility in Boscobel down to 1/4 mile. Here's a look at our temperature change. It is just a little bit cooler in most spots this morning than it was this time yesterday. Only about a couple to 5 degrees cooler, though, in the region. Here are the current numbers. 55 here in Madison, 54 in Janesville, 53 in Watertown, and 52 in the Dells. A few spots as you head into central Wisconsin, though, dropping into the 40s this hour. Dew point trend today is going to stay low, less than 60 degrees on that dew point, so these numbers are in a very comfortable range. So even though it will warm to the upper 70s this afternoon, you're not going to notice the humidity. Satellite and radar trends across the area showing you pretty quiet conditions here in southern Wisconsin. Hardly any clouds even showing up in the area. Future Track shows you the clear skies this morning, giving way to a bit more cloud cover as we head into the afternoon. And just like the last couple of days, a few isolated showers are possible later this afternoon, but they'll come to an end as the sun sets this evening. And again on Sunday, we'll start in the 60s. Pop-up showers possible in the afternoon and then diminishing as the sun sets. Your extended forecast then through the weekend calls for highs to be pretty close to 80 both days, and no major changes to the forecast as we head into next week. Same sort of pattern, slight chances for afternoon showers. Very comfortable temperatures though, Josh.
This pattern could stick around if I had any say on this.
Yeah, no complaints. Couple of months for me.
All right, Hattie, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Before their royal gig at Windsor Castle, the Kingdom's choir's largest ever audience was around 200 people. Now the gospel choir, which burst into the spotlight after performing at the wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, has signed a record deal with Sony Music. The group performed Stand By Me at that wedding. The song eventually reached #1 on the Billboard gospel charts and has been watched on YouTube more than 100 million times. The Kingdom Choir's debut album is expected to be released later this year. From music to movies and video games too, virtual reality has been popping up in more films in recent years. But if you go back to the 80s, it was even making its presence known back then. Our Will Loper has this week's 3 things to watch.
Hey there, Josh. This weekend, check out 3 movies that involve characters traveling to the land of virtual reality.
This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination.
New on home video this week is Ready Player One.
A contest. 3 impossible challenges. The first to finish gets complete control of the Oasis, which means complete control of the future.
Based on the popular book of the same name, a boy goes on an Easter egg hunt in a virtual gaming world where life and death are at stake in the real world.
You don't tell anyone who you are. You can't use your real name. Hold on to something. This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
What's going on?
Just practicing my Mario Kart. Hold on!
Ready Player One is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
My name's Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm gonna wreck it!
30 years I've been doing this.
I can fix it!
It's hard to love your job when no one else seems to like you for doing it.
You're just the bad guy who wrecks the building.
Prepare yourself for the sequel, Rolf Wrecks the Internet, coming out in November, by rewatching the excellent first film, Wreck-It Ralph.
Ralph abandoned his game.
Welcome to Game Central Station.
Bad guy coming.
Everything changes now.
Ralph's gone to hero's duty?
A video game villain just wants to be a hero for once, and travels to other arcade games to figure out his place in the virtual world.
You're not from here, are you?
Sugar Rush? You're game jumping? Hey!
Aha! You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Aha! You hit a guy with glasses. That's well played.
We're doomed!
They're gonna pull our plug!
Wreck-It Ralph is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Why do I fix everything I touch?
Come on, big fella, let's see what you got.
I'd like to go against you and see what you're made of.
You know, you don't look a thing like your pictures.
I'm warning you. You're entering a big error, Flynn. I'm gonna have to put you on the gaming grid.
Games? You want games? I'll give you games.
And finally, check out one of the first movies to involve traveling to the virtual gaming world with 1982's Tron.
Oh man, this isn't happening. It only thinks it's happening.
Jeff Bridges stars as a computer programmer who gets trapped in a computer and has to find his way out with some of the best graphics ever put to film.
Watch it, watch it.
Tron is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Did we make it? Yeah. Hooray for our side.
I was once trapped in a video game, but it was a lawn mowing simulator. I've never been so bored in my life. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Coming soon, you might be able to see the Broadway hit show Hamilton in theaters, but not exactly how you think. Talks are currently underway with Hollywood studios to see who will walk away with big screen rights to the musical, though it's not going to be a new big budget blockbuster. Instead, theaters may show a recorded 2016 performance featuring the original cast. Rights to that recording could sell more than $50 million. The play has won 11 Tony Awards, a Grammy, and a Pulitzer Prize for drama since it opened in 2015. Time now, 5:19. Some of the biggest swimmers in the area will compete in the final round of the All-City Swim Meet later today. We'll take you there. And a college professor is hitting the road biking to raise awareness for some continuing problems in Puerto Rico. Why he says solar panels could solve many of the island nation's struggles. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Wanted to show you this picture. Jerry Davis sent it to me a couple of days ago. He's always great at catching wildlife photos. This is a young buck with those velvet-covered antlers. That is what the full moon this month is named after. It's called the full buck moon, and it occurred technically yesterday. Still looks pretty darn full though this morning. Here is a view of that moon setting on their Edgewater Skycam looking out over downtown Madison. Skies are clear right now. Temperatures are in the mid-50s here in Madison and Platteville. Prairie du Chien checks in with 54 degrees and it's 52 in the Dells. Our temperatures today are going to warm pretty quickly this morning. It is a cooler start, but by lunchtime we're already back into the mid-70s. This afternoon's high 79 degrees with partly sunny skies. Just an isolated shower will be possible. Less than a 15% chance in any one spot. Those isolated chances for rain continue through the rest of the weekend right into the start of next week. Temperatures, though, stay very comfortable with highs in the upper 70s. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Coming up on 524 this morning, a UW-Madison professor is taking a bike ride to raise awareness about the continued struggle to restore power to Puerto Rico after last year's hurricane. Engineering professor Jim Tinjum is working with a group of students to install solar panels at a nonprofit shelter for kids who have been abused. To help pay for those solar panels and raise awareness for the project, Tinjum is leaving this morning for a 1,200-mile bike ride visiting 50 solar energy sites across 4 states. At the beginning of the summer, there were still 11,000 customers without power in Puerto Rico. That was 8 months after Hurricane Maria hit. If you'd like to donate to the project, you can visit solarparaninos.com. It is the third and final day of the All-City Swim Meet, which is taking place in Monona this year. It's one of the biggest amateur swim meets in the country. Organizers say they're seeing record levels of swimmer registration. But it's not all about the competition. Organizers say just as important is the idea of creating community. 6 swimmers have already broken all-city meet records for a meter pool this year, and 8 others broke pool records for Monona. Finals start at 8 this morning. We'll give you updates on the athletes' finishes on channel3000.com. 525 right now. There's much more ahead here on News 3 This Morning Saturday. Next, we'll have today's top stories. Plus, it's hard to believe football season is just around the corner, and for Packers fans, this year marks a milestone. Just ahead, we take a look at what's new for the team's 100th season. This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday. Are you ready for some football? Packers fans are for sure. With regular season kickoff just a little more than a month away, a look at what's new for the Packers' milestone 100th season.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning. Saturday is just before 5:30 on this July 28th. I'm Josh Breiter. Hattie will join us in a moment with your forecast, but first let's get to today's headlines. Right now, 36 people are waking up without a home this morning after a massive apartment fire at a Beloit apartment complex overnight. The fire started just before 10 at an 8-unit building in the 900 block of West Grand Avenue. 20 to 25 units responded to put that fire out. It took about 3 hours to do so. The good news is no one was hurt. The Red Cross is helping the 36 people displaced because of the fire. This morning, that cause remains under investigation. Also happening overnight, Madison police are searching for a man in his 20s who they believe is involved with a strong-armed robbery. Police say it happened in the 6800 block of Schrader Road near the Woodmans around 10:45 last night. A woman was opening the trunk of her car when police say a man grabbed her and threw her to the ground. They fought over the woman's purse and the man took some things from it. When the woman left to get help, police say the man also tried to steal her car. This weekend, a student-led school supply drive here in Madison is celebrating its 10th year. The wagon drive started with a couple of young kids asking their neighbors to donate supplies for classmates who needed them. Now it's a citywide collection. The high school seniors running the wagon drive want to provide 300 students with backpacks full of supplies this year. If you want to help, you can drop off the supplies as well as toiletries and non-perishable food items at Franklin Elementary School from 9 to 2 today. And now some road closures to know about this weekend. Part of McKee Road has been shut down for construction. The roadway impacted is between Pleasant View Road and Meriter Way. You'll notice this is close to all of the work being done on Highway M. Crews will be replacing sewers, and that closure is expected to last until 6 o'clock Monday morning. Atwood Avenue will be closed in the 3-block stretch from the Barrymore Theater to Tex Tubbs near Winnebago Street for the annual Atwood Fest starting today. Organizers are asking people to bike to the festival to avoid parking problems around that area. Now we send it over to Hattie with that first alert forecast. Another beauty out there this morning, Hattie.
It is. No issues biking today. We have great weather conditions. Here's a live look from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Still, as the moon sets to the west, skies are clear this morning. Here's a look at satellite and radar trends across the state, and it is very quiet. Some cloud cover off to the south and west this morning, but nothing showing up on the maps here in southern Wisconsin. So enjoy clear skies. Some pop-up cumulus clouds expected later on this afternoon. Temperatures are in the 50s here for southern Wisconsin, 60 close to the lake in Milwaukee, but 55 here in Madison, 53 in Boscobel. Temps through parts of central and northern Wisconsin, though, do drop into the 40s this morning. Here's a look at our temperatures through the day. We're looking at highs in the upper 70s, 79 degrees here in Madison. A few isolated showers are possible this afternoon. Any shower activity, though, is going to be pretty light and very short-lived. Here's a look at your traffic this morning. Seeing some brake lights on the Beltline right around John Nolan Drive this morning, but otherwise no issues downtown just yet. Still pretty early for that. Here's a look at our drive times into Madison. Still going at posted speeds from the surrounding communities.
All right, Hattie, thank you. 5:32 is your time right now. The Green Bay Packers are celebrating their 100th season this year. With the start of the regular season a little more than a month away, fans are already getting excited for the return of football. Chris Schuler shows us the new exciting and different things fans can expect in this milestone season.
Outside of Lambeau Field, work is underway to create an experience for fans like they've never seen before. The Packers Experience, a festival of activities similar to the NFL experience held during the Super Bowl.
There you go. This is really what you see at the Super Bowl or at the draft. Skills challenge, there's a lot of photo opportunities. We'll have locker room. We have a theater that is showing part of our documentary.
A piece of Packers training camp that Gene and Suzette Goff drove over 1,000 miles from Pennsylvania to be part of.
This has been his dream. All his life, he's wanted to come to Green Bay. He wanted to see the stadium. He wanted to see the training camp. He wanted all that.
Go, Pack, go! Go, Pack, go!
Come Thursday, the team's 2018 training camp gets underway, and some 100,000 football fans are expected to pay a visit during camp, and businesses like Hinterland are ready to welcome them in.
The Titletown Plaza right here, the park and everything, it's a great attraction for families and all kinds of people coming through on a daily basis.
This Packers training camp, there are going to be 14 public practices to be held here at Rainichke Field. But if you want a seat, you better get here early.
You get all the excitement because you find out who all the new players are going to be, so you want to see them in action.
And while training camp continues for 4 weeks, the Packers experience lasts just 4 days, starting Thursday. A free fan festival in the Lambeau Field parking lot that the Packers hope you'll visit.
It's like kicking off that 100 seasons, and that's really what we're trying to do this in a big way. I mean, we're the first NFL team that's turning 100, so we want to just do it the right way.
Reporting in Green Bay, Chris Schuler for WISC News 3.
The Packers will take on the Chicago Bears for their first regular season game. That's September 9th at Lambeau. Coming up on 5:35 right now, the weekend is the perfect time to check out a new restaurant or head to one of your favorites. But how can you make sure your food is not only tasty but safe to eat? We'll show you the popular restaurant review site working to make your health and safety a top priority. The news is back in the morning on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. Welcome back at 5:38 this morning. Right now, the American Red Cross is offering an incentive to anyone willing to come in and donate blood this summer. Despite thousands of people coming out to give blood, the organization is still in emergency need of all blood types. The Red Cross says donation levels traditionally tend to drop during the summer months. Anyone who donates from now through the end of August will receive a $5 Amazon gift card. Health inspection reports aren't a secret, but finding them can be a hassle. The popular review site Yelp wants to make that information part of your restaurant selection routine. Kiet Du shows us how.
Yelp has been quietly working on this new feature in Marin and San Francisco for the past 5 years. They're ready to launch it nationwide, and it's called Health Scores, and you can find it right here. To hear Yelp describe it, there's a buffet of valuable restaurant inspection data out there, and the San Francisco-based company is helping users to digest it all.
Now, some restaurants weren't thrilled with it. If you have a good record, you probably wouldn't mind the extra transparency, but if you don't, you can understand you might not.
Yelp works with a third-party vendor to process data feeds directly from city and county agencies themselves. When the agencies don't provide a feed, robots fan out online to scrape the data off government websites and compile it together. The result on the mobile app is a condensed report, often with just scores and dates. But the desktop site has more info, like the details about the violations. Yelp says when customers see a low score, they don't call the restaurant, they don't click to get directions, and they certainly do not look at the menu.
We do see that consumers use it. They patronize businesses with bad health scores less.
I think it's a good thing. Just want to make sure that get updated information.
Rochelle Gaddy with Santa Clara County welcomes the effort from Yelp. However, for now, Santa Clara County's own app called SCC Dine Out not only has the most current and up-to-date scores, it also has the actual reports with all the nitty-gritty details. This one talked about cockroaches of all life cycles found inside the restaurant. But there can be discrepancies with the Yelp health scores. For example, at Emperor of India in South San Jose, Yelp has old data from January saying they have a score of 72. But a check of the county website shows the score dropped down to 52, and then more problems force them to shut down for a few days, and currently there is no score.
So I'm not sure how often they scrape that data and how current the data is. So we advise the public for the most current information to go to our website.
Yelp says it takes about 2 weeks to scrape the data off government sites.
If a city wants to have its health scores posted even more timely, they can establish a relationship directly with Yelp and send us a feed of that information.
Yelp says by the end of the year, health scores will roll out to 42 states and cover 750,000 restaurants.
When consumers have access to health score data like this, two things happen. Restaurants get cleaner and less consumers get sick.
In San Jose, Kiet Du, KPIX5.
We're told the owner of Emperor of India wasn't available for comment. 5:41 right now. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we have some ideas for you. From a Broadway show bringing award-winning catchy tunes to the overture to an amateur production put on in just one day. The shows, festivals, and fun you should know about. Your Weekend 608 is coming up next on News 3 This Morning Saturday. But first, happy birthday to Elena, Emerson, Sophia, Tate, and all the other kiddos turning 3 years old today. We'll be right back.
We are starting off on a great note this morning. A couple events taking place dealing with swimming today. The Clean Lakes Alliance is having a shoreline swim at Law Park early this morning. The race actually starts at 7, but can register at 6 o'clock. Sunny skies, their water sensors report good water clarity, and the water temp's actually going to be warmer than the air, 75 to 80 degrees, while the air temp will be in the 50s and 60s this morning. So a great morning to head downtown. If you are taking place or busy with All City Swim in Monona today, here's the forecast for that event. That one goes much longer through the day. Look for an increase in the clouds a little bit, turning partly sunny later on this afternoon. An isolated shower is possible. Pretty hard to pinpoint where exactly those isolated showers will pop up, but they'll be light today. Temperatures will warm as well, back up to around 78 degrees by 3 p.m. So great weather for these events today. Satellite and radar trends this morning, very quiet around here. We'll zoom the map way out, in fact, to the U.S. perspective. Some scattered storms through the central part of the country. You see the movement is to the south and east, so those storms will miss us. Storms finally moving offshore in the east, so that is good news. Dry weather in the forecast there, and unfortunately it stays dry in parts of Southern California with not a lot of rain in the forecast there. Temperatures will be hot in the southwest. Phoenix tops at 107 today. Actually, a little bit of a cool down. Earlier this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, Phoenix topped at 116. So 107, not quite as hot, but still very warm through the southern part of the United States, even up the East Coast, 88 in Washington, D.C. today. Much more comfortable here through the Great Lakes region with temperatures hitting highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. The moon is setting nearly full moon. It was full yesterday, but you can clearly see it on the Edgewater sky cam. Great shot over downtown Madison this morning. 55 degrees here in the capital city, 52 in the Dells. Dew points are going to stay in the 50s through the day today, so that is a very comfortable range. You're not going to notice the humidity at all. Future track shows a few clouds moving in for the afternoon, and even those spotty pop-up showers, they won't last too long in any one spot. Temperatures will get into the upper 70s today. Any rain chances, though, diminish as the sun sets. Rain amounts are going to be very light. If you find yourself under one of those showers, most likely less than 1/10 of an inch. Here's a look at that extended forecast then. Highs stay pretty consistent over the next couple of days. We're looking at upper 70s to around 80, just slight chances for afternoon rain each day. Here's a look at our pet walk forecast. I don't know
Henry,
what kind of pet this is,
I don't know
but
either.
Pretty darn cute. Look at those big eyes. Is it one of those sugar gliders?
I don't know.
That's my guess, but pretty darn
Henry,
cute. I like
very
it.
cute picture. All right, Hattie, thank you. Well, we've been asking you to share your morning with us, and check out this picture. If we can pull that picture up. There we go, Lynn Owens. Check out that sunrise there. I feel like the skies lately have just been so beautiful with these mornings. Thanks so much for sharing, Lynn. What does your morning look like? Be sure to take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We always share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. What is the weekend in the 608? And here's a look at what's going on around the area. A much-loved neighborhood festival returns today and tomorrow. Atwood Fest closes Atwood Avenue to all cars, but opens it up to people looking for good music and food. Favorite local bands will play on stages set up on both ends of the street, as well as on a kids stage. Turnout for Kelsey Miles Band, Amphibians, VO5, and more later today. Plus Steely Dan, Natty Nation, and others on Sunday. Dozens of food carts and craft vendors will also be on hand all weekend. Head to atwoodfest.com for the full lineup of bands and vendors. There are a couple other unique local theater productions this weekend too, starting with the one for adults, specifically adult fans of Shakespeare and adult beverages. Tonight at the Capitol Brewery Beer Garden in Middleton, the Madison Shakespeare Company will put on the first performance of its second installment of Sloshed Shakespeare. It's a mouthful there. This time the actors will perform Antony and Cleopatra, and they will be drinking throughout the production, getting increasingly tipsy. If last year's Macbeth was any indication, all that drinking will cause actors to flub and drop lines, providing some extra comedy. Sloshed Shakespeare, Antony and Cleopatra will be put on 3 times next month at the Brink Lounge and High Noon Saloon. There's also a more family-friendly theater option this weekend. The ambitious 24-hour musical is put on together by a young troupe of teen and college-age actors, and exactly as much time as it sounds, just 24 hours. The young actors will work with the aptly named Madtown Show in a day to put on the production. The cast and crew was just revealed last night. There's only one opportunity to see them in action, and that's tonight at Lakeview Lutheran Church. Speaking of musicals, there's another Broadway show in town. The musical Waitress is playing this weekend at the Overture Center through tomorrow night. It's based on the 2000 movie of the same name and is about a waitress in a small town who channels her unhappiness in her marriage into a pre-baking contest. The big draw to the show are the songs. Written by Grammy-nominated pop musician Sarah Bareilles, does Love Song ring a bell? Waitress has already gotten a lot of positive reviews. Be sure to head to overture.org for tickets. As always, you can pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. Time now at 5:51. There's a full hour of News 3 ahead at 8 this morning. And tonight at 6 and 10, we'll have the latest on that apartment fire in Beloit that left 3 dozen people without a home, how the Red Cross is stepping in, and what's next for those impacted. But first, it's a wacky, weird, and wild new trend popping up at state fairs and festivals nationwide. We'll take you to a wife-carrying championship when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues. Welcome back at 5:54 this morning. Across the country, husbands and wives are teaming up in a new way, competing together in wife-carrying championships. If you're wondering exactly what that means, Brooke Leonard went to find out.
A sport that originated in Finland has made its way across the United States, all the way to Bozeman, Montana. The first ever Rocky Mountain wife-carrying championship. First things first, you have to have a partner.
I'm a dentist at Rethink Dentistry. This is my assistant. Rule said you didn't need your wife. She actually signed this up.
While it doesn't have to be your wife, you still have to make sure you can carry them. It's a 5-point penalty for a drop. Next is the obstacle course. In order to meet the North American Championship standards, it must have 1 wet obstacle and 2 dry. In today's case, a mud pit, median wall, and a dirt ramp. Adam and Sonny Bacon came to the fair after church, and after some convincing, their friends signed them up for the race. 15 minutes before it began.
Yeah, someone Googled how to get over the hurdles, how to carry, and so then we went hiding behind the bleachers and just ran a pace or 2 back and forth, and yeah, I didn't break you.
Thank you.
I didn't break you.
They set the record for fastest time at 60 seconds and took home the grand prize, Sonny's weight in beer.
I've never felt so close to you right now, and thankfully I did not break you, so that's good.
Another sign wife carrying competitions are growing more and more popular. Teams can qualify for the North American Championships in Maine this October.
I bet Maine's beautiful in October.
Oh my gosh. All those spectators do. Like, it looks like a big deal.
Learn something new every day.
There you go.
But I'm
wife
sure
carrying championship.
Guys are going to love that prize, though. Your wife's weight in beer.
Beer.
No, right?
What more could you ask for, right?
I don't think anything. Well, our forecast today, whatever you're doing, is going to be great. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. The moon is setting this morning. It was full yesterday, but it's still pretty darn cool to look at this morning. Here's a look at our current temperatures. We've lost a degree now. We're down to 54 here in Madison and Janesville, 61 though in Monroe, and 55 in Platteville. Here's your forecast day planner today. Look for sunshine this morning, giving way to a few clouds this afternoon. A couple of isolated showers are possible later today, but a high of 79 degrees is expected. Temperatures will then stay pretty comfortable as we go through the rest of the weekend. More of the same on Sunday.
All right, Hattie, thank you, and thank you for joining us. CBS This Morning Saturday is coming up next, and we'll see you back here at 8 o'clock for more News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.